Hi friends, in the last session you have seen how to initialize the variables, how to declare the variables, how to display the data which is stored in those initialized variable memory. In today's session we are going to see how to read the data from keyboard. Okay. So most of you who knows about the C programming, I hope you know how to read the data from keyboard. What we do, we use a scanf function there, okay, to read the data from keyboard. What you will do there in scanf, you will be using the format specifiers and the variable declaration or variable addresses, okay. So from where you are going to read the data, I mean load the data, you can say. You see percentile D is a format specifier for your integer type of data, and var1 is the address of some variable. It will go there and it will save there. If you want to do the same thing in Java, okay, as a Java is an object oriented programming language, we have to use this with the help of a classes. Okay, I will tell you one example. You can say I want to drink a water from a water filter. It is not possible like you can lift the water filter and you can drink directly. You need a glass which can be an object where you will load the data and you will use it. Same thing you will be having in Java. You have many classes. First thing is you create an object for that class, and whatever the methods are available in that object, in that class, you can use it with the help of an object. Okay, so simple thing I told you, as a dispenser, there you have three different water types like cool water, warm water, hot water. Okay, those are the three methods available in that class. But what you need an object is a glass. Through that glass, when you go there, you can use any method whichever you want. This is the best example to make you understand what is an object and how you can use the methods that are available inside a class. Okay, so in Java we have three different approaches to load the data from keyboard. Let's see, the first class we have is data input stream class. Okay, next class we have is input stream reader class, for which we need to take the support of buffered reader. Okay, as input stream reader will make you enable to read the data, but it will not provide you the memory. So buffered reader will do that operation. Then third one we have a scanner class. Okay, but remember the first two classes are available in java.io.star. Okay, so you can see in java.io library you will have those two classes, but the third class, it is available in java.util.star. Okay, I hope this you are clear with this, and now we will go for the program. So as usual we are going with the console now, so we go to the same thing. I'm going to the command prompt. Okay, as you know we have set the Java path. How to set the Java path, if you don't know, please go to the previous video sessions and you can see that one. Okay, so let's do one thing. I have created one folder in a D drive, so I will go to the D drive. Okay, or either you can go to the C drive also. You can see, let me show you. I have created that folder. Let me go to C drive. So there is a folder, no. Then go to the D drive. Let me show you this also. There is one folder called as class Java. So I want to go to that class Java. So how to go? That is in D drive. So D colon. Now I'm into D drive. So what are the folders I have? So you can see by dir/p. So my folder name is what? Class Java. So cd class Java. Now I'm into my required folder. Now in that folder what you have? dir/p. I have all the first program and second program, whatever we written before. Now I want to go with my program where I can do the reading of values from keyboard. So I say notepad space. Now this is my program for the third session. So I will give the name as third. If not, you can give meaningful names also, like read data. Okay, .java. Enter. Yes. Then you can give the comment saying that why you are writing this program to read data from keyboard. Okay, so this is the thing which we are going to do now. So the basic things, first we'll import the library java.io.star. In this program I'm using all the classes, okay, so which are available to read the data from keyboard. Now let's see class. So what is my file name? Read data. So my class name also same. You can use the different class name also, okay, so that is not a problem, but sometimes it will become an ambiguity, or as you are the new programmer, or you are doing this program for the first time, you may have confusions. Okay, later on we will see that one also, how we can do that. So now we are into class. Now we need what? Main class. Public static void main. So string, what we do, give some arguments here and okay. As we are reading data from keyboard, the main concern here is there is a possibility the user can enter wrong inputs, correct? So to avoid that and to handle that exceptions, we used to use throws IO exception. Okay, we have to add this one, throws IO exception, which is coming from your exception. Java can support string type of data directly. As you know that as the compiler enters or the translator enters to the main, it understood that string is something like the default property given to Java. Okay, so this is the runtime memory allocated to your Java, where you can enter a large data of any size. Understand? So but you have to understand one more thing. Java can understand string type of data directly. There is no need of conversion. Okay, so let's see one small example, then we can understand this. Let me show you. I'm declaring three different variable types: integer a, double b, string c. Okay, you can see there are three different types of variables: a type, b type and c type. A is integer type, need to be typecasted. B is double type, need to be typecasted. But C is string type, no need to be typecasted, because as we know that your Java can understand string type of data directly. So let's see. I'm giving one message here, system.out.println. Now what we do, we will declare those three classes what we have seen before. First class is data input string. I will create an object as this, then I say new data input stream. So what a new will do, new will create a object there, okay, and then make it available. The next one is input stream reader, new input stream reader of system.in means what? It is a class which is used to provide the input into your program using your system. Fine. So system class, where this is saying that you are going to use this program for giving input to the program. can see that now I'm using the a variable to load the data using this object. Okay, this is an object. When I'm using this object, inside there is one method called as what? Readline. So this is a method which is used to read the data from keyboard. So what is this one? Integer.parseInt. So it is called as a typecasting. Okay, it is converting the data from integer type to string type, you can say, because it doesn't understand integer. What is integer? Okay, if you don't use this, your system will generate the error. Now we say what? B. Okay, so what is a B? Double type. So we have a class here, and remember, whenever you have the first letter as capital, then it is a class. If the second letter, okay, if the second continued letter is capital, like for example parseInt, parse is the first word, int is the second word. So when second consecutive letter is capital, then you consider it as a method. Same way, this is a object. Now you can say this is a method, because you can see read is one word, line, L is second word, but L is the capital. Okay, now here also we write what? Parse double of this dot read line. So procedure is same. Now C is what? String. As I told you, string is understood directly. Now I no need to convert it. So it's finished. So I use this message, I use this for implementing the first class available with us. Now I want to do the same thing for the next class. Okay, how it will be used. So for the second class, what classes we have? Input stream reader and buffer reader. See, remember, input stream reader can provide you that operation to load the data, but it doesn't have any memory. So this is playing the role to send the data into your memory location. So I'm using br as an object here. So we use what? br.readline. Okay, so there is nothing to change here. This is almost the same. So just you will be using here br. Finish. Then the third scanner class. Okay, so scanner class is the new class which is available for the new scanner class is the new class which is used nowadays. So we are going to use scanner class. Now let's see how it will be used. Okay, so here we have the scanner class object as what? S. So S dot next int. So your scanner class declaration is finished. Okay, S is the object, next int is your typecasting. Same way for the double, we will doing what? S dot next double. So this is also finished. Same way for the C, as we know it is a string type, we no need to perform the typecasting. So S dot next, it is done. Now I have to print all these outputs one by one. Okay, so if I print here directly, it will give the output of this value which is given at the end. So to avoid that confusion, what I do here, I will give A1, A2 and also A3. Same way I will give here B1, B2, B3. I will give here C1, C2, C3. Perfect. So the same thing we will be updating here, A1, B1, C1, then A2, B2, then C2. Now same way A3, B3 and C3. Finish. Now you are going to print the output, system.out.println. Okay, you can print any number of data values within one print statement. Okay, so the only thing is you are going to use what? Plus as a concatenation operator to add all of the values within one print statement. So I'm directly printing the values, so I will give A1 plus A2 B1 B2 give C1. We'll follow this procedure itself. We'll do one thing. I will write here plus, okay, so that there will be no confusions. Plus again, then I will copy the same thing here, copy, I will paste here, then plus again I will paste here. Okay, now you can see I have A1, then I will say here what, A2, then this is B2, okay, then this is C2. Now same way here we have what, A3, then you have B3, then you have C3. Okay, so your program almost done. We can save the program. We'll exit this program now and we can implement this. How to compile the program? Java C read data.java. Let's see any syntax errors or any compilation errors we have. Yeah, so it is saying that there is one error, because you can see that here you will be seeing this double quotes should be open and end. Okay, so let me open the program I didn't closed here. Okay, so this one has to be closed like this. So somewhere we are doing small mistake here. So it is a common thing that mistakes may occur. So file, save again. Now run again. So still one more error. I think I didn't give in the semicolon. So semicolon is needed. Save it again, then run again. Okay, now you can see your program has done. So still there is one more error. You know that there is a system. So I did one more mistake here. It should be system. So system. So file again, save it. Okay, so program, whenever you are doing, you may have any number of errors. You have to solve by understanding the errors. And if you get errors, you feel you are the lucky person who can understand more about the program. Okay, Java space read data. Now I'm executing the program. Now it will ask you, please enter the data for the first. So 34, 56.7 and the string data rows. Same way for the second class. I'll give 54 and I will give 78.9 and I say 3. Now the third time it is asking to enter the same things. I will give here 23. I will give here 76.34. Then I will give here like mango. Okay, so your complete data has finished. You can see the data. This is for the first class, this is for second class, this is for third class. If you want to make every class data in a separate line, also you can do. How you will do? Hopefully you all know that one. Okay, so you can go to the program here. Now from here it is a new session, so we say /n. Okay, so just do one thing after C3 again. So here we are starting, so I'll give here /n. Now save the program again, try to execute again. Okay, remember, so whenever you are going to run the program again, so you have to compile it first. Okay, then you have to run the program. Understand? If not, the changes will not affect in the program. Okay, now you can see this is your first class data, this is your second class data, and this is your third class data. Even you can give that names also to them. That depends on our programming. So this is how we can read the data from keyboard with this video. So with this I will close today's session. I will come to you back again with a new video with a new topic. Thank you.